Now, Pillar Data Systems was set up to design and build the most cost-effective, highly available network storage solutions on the market. The Larry Ellison-backed company is planning to revolutionize the industry and cut storage costs by 40%, launching an ambitious expansion into the EMA market. Joining us is Mike Workman, CEO of Pillar Data Systems. Mike, thanks so much indeed for coming in. When we talk about enterprise storage and what you do specifically in that space, just explain.
We do network storage, which is a mid-range targeted market, $50,000 to $750,000 and up. So it's a very broad range product, attacks a huge piece of the market. It's the fastest growing part of the market. It's where everybody is moving to off of much more expensive platforms.
What is the driver today in this market? What is it that clients and customers want?
What they want is cost effectiveness, not just to acquire in the first place, but to manage, to maintain, and also they have staff to administer storage. And administration of storage can often run more than the cost of the storage itself.
So you have to provide a service on top of the basic product.
That's the fascinating part. What we really do is we build an expert system into each and every product that essentially takes over much of the dreary burden of managing and administrating the storage, automating it.
How does that then differ? I mean, presumably other guys are doing this as well. I can't imagine that somebody's not trying to do the same sort of thing. So how do you compete? How do you do it better? How do you compete with those guys?
Well, actually, interestingly enough, if you look at our product and the way it's administered and managed, it is very different than the standard in the industry. Mainly because we had the luxury of not being burdened by past successes, because we're a new company. We had a clean sheet of paper. So we were able to start over, start afresh, and reinvent the way storage is managed and administered.
So taking that forward, will you have to reinvent yourselves again in a few more years?
Oh, sure.
Will developments come, you'll have to compete, always be reinventing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that that's the job for the customers, is to constantly bring them increased value and allow them to change the storage industry. Essentially, if you look at the IT industry, PCs are so much more affordable than they were 5 years ago, the same way with hard disk drives, the same way with networking gear. It's time that happens to storage. Okay, so I mean, in a sense, the overall price you can charge is going to be dropping. The question is, can you drop the costs and the systems and get enough bulk to go with it? Yeah, and that's we believe so. It's a $7 billion market that our product plays into. We believe that with even a good fraction of that, 10%, we would be able to effectively, severely compete in the market. You're setting your sights now on the European market. What are the factors of this particular market in Europe that are different from elsewhere? I think there's a few, but mostly the reason for our launch at this period of time into EMEA is the fact that we wanted to make sure that our product quality was exceptionally high and that our customer support model was exceptionally good. Because of the distance from our headquarters and our laboratories to here, we didn't want to get out in front of our lines of supply. So essentially, we waited long enough to ensure that the quality was excellent, come into this market. The difference in this market and in the US, they're largely similar actually, but there are a few differences. I think in EMEA, people are more interested in what we call Tier 2 storage. That is extremely good value, high availability, but not the mainframe kind of storage of the past, you know, the big iron. Yeah. Also, I suppose we've got, you know, there seems to be more and more regulation as well going on, and more requirements to keep details, and is that all helpful for you? Yeah, it is. It's a two-edged sword, of course, because we suffer under the same regulations and scrutiny as everybody else. I'm not so sure that the world hasn't gone a little bit overboard on some of this. I think all of the IT budgets of the world are feeling the pinch of this. It's very expensive. Nonetheless, it's regulations, it's compliance, and it drives a huge quantity of storage because you can't delete anything. You can't delete emails anymore, and there's all kinds of other compliance, much more complex and kind of dreary actually, but it all amounts to huge increases in storage. I mean, you mentioned the budgets. I mean, our IT budgets, what's happening to those generally? I mean, as companies, have they got the ability to increase their IT budgets now because we know a lot more cash rich than they were 2 or 3 years ago? Have they put a big cap on them? Are they reducing them? What's happening? Well, there's always pressure, right? I mean, everybody every dollar that you don't spend on IT is another dollar you can spend on customers or on product expansion or R&D. So it's just part of the expense budget. But I will say this, that if you can save money for a fixed IT budget, regardless of whether it's growing or shrinking, for every dollar you don't spend on storage, you can spend on something else that you need that help build out the infrastructure of your business.
Okay, well, it's good to see you. Wish you all the best. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you
for joining us. That's Mike Workman, the CEO of Pillar Data Systems.